So there's this new force out there in the world of cybersecurity. It works all by itself, it's unbelievably fast, and get this, it's digging up security flaws that some of the smartest people on the planet have missed for decades. What is this new cyber superpower? Well, let's dive in.
All right, let me just start by asking you a question. What kind of person, what kind of thing could possibly find a software bug that's been hiding in plain sight for 27 years?
And we're not talking about just any old piece of software. This bug was found in OpenBSD. That's an operating system famous, legendary, for being obsessed with security. It's designed from the ground up by experts to be unbreakable. So, who's the genius that finally found a crack?
Well, the answer isn't a who, it's a what. Everybody meet Claude Mythos Preview. It's a brand new AI model from a company called Anthropic. And look, this isn't just a minor update. This is a whole new category of tool, a real game changer that's about to rewrite the rules of digital security. And just to give you an idea of the leap we're talking about, it's just staggering. Anthropic's last big model, Opus 4.6, went up against Firefox and managed to find a working exploit only twice. Mythos Preview? It did the same thing 181 times. That's not just better, that's a whole different ballgame. It's a quantum leap in power. And then there's this number, 10. 10 might not sound like a lot, but believe me, in this context, it is a huge deal. That's the number of completely separate, fully up-to-date pieces of software that Mythos Preview was able to completely take over using something called a control flow hijack. Now, in hacking, that's the ultimate prize. It's game over. You get total control of the system. So the big question is, how? How on earth does an AI hunt down these ghost bugs, these flaws that have been invisible to human eyes for decades? Well, the method is actually surprisingly smart.
They call it an agentic scaffold, which sounds kind of technical, but the idea is pretty simple. You basically just give the AI a mission. Step 1 is a simple prompt, like, hey, find me a security vulnerability. From there, the AI is on its own. It acts like a human researcher. It reads the code. It comes up with ideas. It runs tests. It uses all the standard tools. And then for the final step, a different AI agent comes in to double-check the work and confirm that, yep, the bug is real and it's actually a big deal. And this brings us right back to that incredible OpenBSD bug. This isn't just theory. This is exactly how the AI found that 27-year-old flaw. And this wasn't some minor bug. It could let an attacker crash any OpenBSD machine on the internet from anywhere in the world. Now, the bug itself was hiding in a network feature called TCP/SAC. This thing was created all the way back in 1996 to help make internet connections faster and more reliable. You know, it's part of the basic plumbing of how computers talk to each other online. Now, here's what's so cool about this. The bug wasn't one single obvious mistake. No, it was this perfect little storm, a chain reaction of smaller issues. Mythos Preview figured out that one tiny bug let some bad data slip through. That, in turn, triggered a second bug. And the final piece of the puzzle was something called an integer overflow. That's a classic coding error where a number gets too big, wraps back around to 0, and just confuses the heck out of the computer, causing the whole system to crash. It's the kind of complex interaction that humans are just really bad at finding. But it didn't stop there. The AI also found a 16-year-old ghost in a piece of software called FFmpeg. Now, if you've ever watched a video on YouTube, Netflix, or basically anywhere else, you've used FFmpeg without even knowing it. And for 16 years, this bug went completely undetected. The flaw here was just beautifully simple. The code used a specific number, 65,535, as a kind of special signal, a marker that meant this spot is empty. Mythos Preview figured out that if an attacker made a video with exactly one more slice than that, the program would look at that last slice, number 65,535, and mistake it for the empty marker. It would get confused, try to write data where it shouldn't, and the whole thing would just come crashing down. So, look, just finding these bugs is already a massive deal. But this is where the story escalates, where things go from, wow, that's interesting, to, uh-oh, this changes everything. Because the AI isn't just finding flaws, it's learning how to turn them into weapons, all on its own. And it does this using a technique called exploit chaining. The best way to think about it is like one of those bank heist movies. You don't have one master key. You need one key to get through the front door, another to disable the cameras, and a third to crack the vault. But using a series of smaller bugs in just the right order, an attacker can achieve total control. And yep, Mythos Preview can do this all by itself. It actually demonstrated how to chain 4 different vulnerabilities together in the Linux kernel to get what's called root access. That's the keys to the entire kingdom. First,
It used a bug to bypass a security feature that shuffles memory around. Then, it used another to read secret data. A third let it write information into a forbidden area. And the final move in the chain gave it ultimate power over the whole system.
But what's absolutely wild is the speed. Top-tier, world-class human security experts said that building these kinds of exploits would have taken them weeks of hard, focused work. Mythos Preview put them together in a few hours. So, what does all this mean? It means the game has changed. Completely. We are officially entering a brand new era for security, and the fallout is going to affect everyone, both the good guys and the bad guys.
Even Anthropic, the folks who created this AI, are very open about the risks. They say this transition period could be, and I'm quoting them, tumultuous. Their hope, their goal, is that eventually these tools will help defenders more than they help attackers. But that word eventually, that's doing a lot of work right there. The race is on. So what can be done about this right now? Well, the advice from the security community is pretty clear and pretty urgent. People defending systems have to get faster at installing patches. They need to automate how they respond to attacks. And most importantly, they need to start using the AI tools we have today to find these bugs in their own systems before a much more powerful AI does it for them.
And that really leaves us with one final massive question. This technology is not slowing down. It's only going to get smarter and faster. So as AI quickly becomes the ultimate hacker, we all have to ask ourselves, how are we going to defend our world?